shall we begin?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, boys and girls, it's time for Jerry's Outdoor Show. Heard exclusively right here on AM 860, FM 95.1, KWPC, the voice of Muscatine. Powered by Indian Creek Lure Company, the Sicilian Pizzeria, Mitchell Arms and Ammo, Pierce Custom Rods, Tailwater Marine, Deaf Guy Taxidermy, and RB's Outback Bait and Tackle. Like Jerry's Outdoor Show on Facebook. Jerry, our rods and reels are ready. Let's go fishing. It's Friday morning. How about cooking up something sweet this weekend? It's time for Dishing It Out here on AM 860, FM 95.1, KWPC. Now here's Millie and her guest, Mama. Hey, ladies, what's cooking?
Well, there you go, folks. If you were confused, what we decided to do was combine both shows together. So now you're on Dishing It Out with Jerry's Outdoor Show. And we don't repeat gossip here, so make sure you listen real close the first time.
So we're going to do your favorite roadkill recipe.
There you go. Yes, we
gator pie.
Yes, we practice catch and releasing the grease here. No, for everybody that's all confused out there, they're saying, well, it's 9 o'clock. Where the hell's Millie at? What's this idiot doing on? Well, actually, they preempted us today. They got big doings going on at 10 o'clock, and that's the Agricultural Roundtable. So they slid us in here at 9 o'clock to give you your weekly dose of what we know in the world of the outdoors. So welcome to Jerry's Outdoor Show. And join with me today is Lonnie Ford, as always. Our good friend Wes Jordan sitting in the engineering department. Kent Hendricks, which we've heard have him on the phone every week. We actually got him live in the studio. And we also got the professor of profanity himself, Randy Brewer.
Hey, for further review, the whole word never came out.
What we have to do now is we have to run the censor button on you on every other word and play the odds.
Sounds like a Martian.
It is. So anyway, hey, you're on Jerry's Outdoor Show. Hey, how about that Saturday? Did you guys go fishing Saturday?
With the wind or against the wind?
I went out to your place, Lonnie, late Saturday night. I didn't knock on your door. I just went out there to fish that small pond you have out there. By God, that had white caps on it.
Yes, it did.
Can you believe that wind?
Turned around, went home, didn't you?
Turned around, went home. I threw it in. I threw it straight out ahead of me, and it landed up in the tree back behind me. That's it up. That's it for there. But I tell you what, though, Sunday morning was a different story. Now, I went without going to church and decided to go. Well, it's only been 46 years since I've done that, but ended up going out to F70. And my gosh, guys, I limited out on bluegill. I'm talking hand-sized bluegill by 10:30 in the morning. And then the crappie started, and I had some impressive crappie, and I put that all on Facebook. So the trick out there was the sun. That sun was shining Sunday morning. It was still a little windy, not as bad as Saturday, but a little bit of wind there. And I tell you what, that triggered them. And then bluegill were biting really good. And then I was just using a slip rig, and I was fishing about 2 foot around a tree, and I dropped it down to 6 foot, and that's when I started picking up the crappie. So, and I posted.
Now, that wind didn't come in until about 1 o'clock on Sunday. So
yeah, that's about what time I kicked off. What do you know about it? What's happened in your life?
Well, I got a question for you, Jerry. Do you pay attention to the moon phases and those fishing calendars that are out there?
We used to do the sol lunar. That's a hard word to say, but
we used to do that on the radio.
Yeah, we used to do that, and a lot of times is the best time. Is 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Or 9 o'clock, or during the week when everybody's at work and this and that. So we kind of dropped it. But yeah, I do watch them, but I wasn't paying attention. Why, was Sunday a good day?
Well, it was supposed to be good.
Yeah.
And then yesterday was excellent.
Really?
But I never got a chance to get out there, and that's what I was kind of inquisitive about is that I do keep a daily diary when I do go fishing, and that's one of the things that I keep track of.
Right. We used to do it, but like I said, a lot of time it conflicts because I know that you're a self-made man, and now that you're retired, but poor people like me and Randy and Wes and Kent, we got this little thing called work during the week that kind of interferes, and they get powerfully upset if we, well, you know what, it's supposed to be biting real good at 9 o'clock. We'll get the rest of your wall.
Just making everybody mad.
Yeah, we'll get the rest of your wall put in on Monday, but right now we just got to go fish.
That's what the moon said.
Yep, that's what Lonnie Ford said in the moon and Soul Owner.
When your client like that.
So you do follow those charts. Do you find that they're fairly accurate?
I don't really pay attention to the times. What I pay attention to is the overall day, because there's a lot of times I'm the same way. I've got things to do, and I don't really pay attention to the time. But if the day is good, the sun is out, and the wind's coming from the right direction, which isn't south like it was, I'll try to get out there. You know, at least I look at that stronger. You know, if I'm going to go fishing, that's one of the things I do look at.
I'm more of I'm not into the Soul Lunar so much as, I do look at it, but I'm more into a high pressure, low pressure.
No, I'm barometer myself.
Yeah. So, you know, a beautiful baby blue sky, you know, high pressure area sitting over us, you know, everything where typically everybody wants to go out and fish. I normally don't fish that.
Pressure's too high.
Right. Pressure's too high. I'll do it very early in the morning or very late at night. But I like the overcast, which we've probably gotten a fill of overcast skies right now, or the front moving in right before a storm, the low. And I've always had good luck on it. But, you know, I don't need a lot of excuses to go fishing.
No.
I'll just go anyway. So
as long as the hook's in the water, you're having fun.
So what do you know what's going on down there, Randy?
That's just, like I said, the high water, trying to get it settled down.
Right.
It's the brakes are still shut off. The tubes, I think that bottom's still pretty muddy down there. So, and there's not a whole lot of action other than Deep Lakes Park. They're coming and getting rosy reds for the crappies in there.
Right.
And they're picking them up slow, not like they were a week ago.
How about the cedar? Looks like that's up.
Yeah,
it looks like it's
up
about
a couple of 2-3
Well, and see,
feet.
before this all came in, they were catching them big time out there in the backwaters.
Well, that's what basically when I posted stuff on Facebook, you know, the first 5 things like where you at. Well, about an F70. I don't know if that's called if that's the right name for it. You know where I'm talking about, don't you?
Yes.
And so out there, I think it's Lindell Lake.
Lindell Lake is there. That's to the south of the road there.
Yeah, because there's like some corrugated tin or something. They tried to put up a dam or something like that. But when that cedar rises, then they'll feel that it's all part of like Wheezy Slough and stuff like that. So I always call it F70. I don't know if there's a proper name for it or whatever, but pretty much
that's all I ever called it.
About the time I'm getting ready to leave, you see about 5 or 6 cars pulled in. So the power of Facebook works really well. So with that, they were biting real good. So the crappie are on the move. Had a buddy ended up showing up, and he kept the crappie and a few of the bluegill. The crappies had no eggs in them. So those are probably males. I don't know if it was.
Were they black?
No.
They weren't dark in color?
No, they weren't the black ones. They were white, but they were females. Sorry, and there's no eggs in them. So I don't know. You said earlier that they were full.
The ones I seen was packed full of eggs.
So F70 basically is the backwater of
the cedar.
Is cedar. So
it's a long backwater.
Right. So I don't know if being maybe further south. I don't. By 200 yards.
Ain't having no babies this year.
Yeah, maybe I got the sterile ones or whatever. So anyway, you were talking about Deep Lakes earlier, and we got our good friend Kent Hendricks, who's usually on the phone, but we coerced him to come in here on our early show that he could get up this morning and come in here and join us in the studio. How you doing, Kent?
Doing pretty good.
So, can you speak to what Randy was speaking to about Deep Lakes down there?
Yeah, it's, well, first of all, I want to thank everybody that came out last Saturday for our big cleanup day.
Yeah.
That went really well. We had a good turnout despite the wind, and the place looks a lot better. Yeah, Sunday was a great day down there. Caught a lot of bass, talked to some people that were knocking the heck out of the bluegill. Mm-hmm. So things are slowly picking up down there. If we just get this weather to settle down and quit flip-flopping back and forth, That's the main thing. But that wind, I think, helped a lot because it stirred up the water, made it a little murkier, a little cloudier. Mm-hmm. And with that clear water down there, I think that helps a lot too. Getting that water stirred up a little bit so it's not so clear.
Well, if you're a fan of Facebook like I am, there's been a lot of big bass this week being posted on there. Different. I can always tell the ones that are down deep low. Where you at? I'm on the water. No, you're not. You're at deep lakes. I can tell the sand. I know exactly where you're at. Don't underestimate my ability from the background in your pictures to know where you're fishing at.
Like you say, most of us have to work, so I haven't been down there this week, but hopefully this weekend.
I thought that was part of your job was fishing.
Well, I don't get paid. I don't get paid for it.
Oh, darn it!
Well, who the hell of us do?
I gotta find a way to afford all that equipment and buy that boat. I'm wanting to get so.
Well, here's what you do, Kent. You get yourself a wife.
No.
You have her get a job, and then you have her get another job, and that other job will be to pay for your fishing stuff.
Or you find a wife with a boat already. That's how it all works.
That'd be a good deal.
Where'd he come from?
He has life experiences to share with
Does
us.
he? A Quad City boy.
Yep.
This is Wes and his wife Jake. Hey, how you doing?
Wait, what? You know what? I knew a couple of girls when I was growing up that they had their own
They had
boat.
the little rings of the tobacco cans in their
Well,
pocket.
they could put a Barbie doll in those boats, but they had them.
There you go. Absolutely. Absolutely. So anyway, Randy, what's going on with the shop down by Western Mall?
Well, we got it finally figured out that I don't get the big side. I got to do it the small side for this year. So now we can get the tank in this weekend, and then I got to get a guy to come in and hook up the plumbing and all of that to it because there's 4 filters on it. I got 3 filters coming into it before it even gets there because of city water.
Yeah, you got to dechlorinate it.
Yeah. Dechlorinate it.
Yeah.
They make a powder. I just soon dechlorinate it before it ever got to my tank. Say, instead of dumping chemicals in on my minerals.
See, I never do. I never did up there. What I have with my filter is which one is the carbon. The carbon will do it for you.
Right.
Okay, so if you have that carbon, that'll take a lot of that chlorine out of there. But yeah, you're right. When you have a city water tank, but I had it in Wilton,
right,
you got to take that chlorine out, or else your minerals are just going to go belly up.
Yeah, it's down home. I can just run it, leave the tanks running, and hose right through the wall, and it goes out back the shop. And
it's not a closed loop.
I keep a nice wet puddle back there.
Right, and you also, I think last season you also had a couple times where you're filling up the tank and forgot about it, and went to bed, and come back, and you're floating on the floor. But anyway, Randy, while we got you here, our good friend Herbert Longhorn sent me this song because we've been trying to get your intro.
Yeah.
So he sent me a song this morning. I want you to give this one a listen to see if this one does it for you.
See if this one works.
This is Hermit Longhorn. Well, the legend lives on from the Rios on down of the man who lives next to Big Timber. Brewer is his name and Big Fish is his game, but that's a lie he will tell you if he remembers. He is the pride of the new Boston side, 'cause Iowa ain't fitting to claim him. The DNR size and the flathead die when Randy Brewer goes fishing. When Randy Brewer goes fishing.
Now, that's the best one you've had yet.
I think that is. I think that's a keeper.
I'm not going to say nothing bad about that one.
It's a hit.
Yeah, and watch what you say bad, because Wes kind of poked me. He goes, hey, the president of the company's here today.
Yeah, the boss is here today.
Hey, like I said, for the review, I never got the whole word out. I listened to that thing on whatever my wife had it on. I said, play it again. Play it again. She says, I think you did. I said, I think I didn't. Play it again.
So, anyway,
I never convinced her.
There you go. I think that song's a keeper.
I think we'll keep that one.
I think we'll keep that one.
It only took a dozen, but
it only took a dozen, but
we'll do it.
But But Herman is such a prolific songwriter.
Yeah, quick.
He sent that to me this morning by regular postal mail.
How did he know about New Boston anyway?
He's a legend, man.
Quit it.
You're a legend.
It's that.
You know how many times I've gone to Keithsburg and New Boston since there's somebody, because I'm wearing something that says Jerry's Bait and Tackle, and they'll say, "Hey, you know Randy Brewer?" Oh my goodness!
Yeah, he's been across the river.
I get a punch in the eye and get told.
No, actually, I come back in '87. And my mom was still alive, and I moved back, not back in because I was from Muscatine, but I stayed in New Boston for 8-9 years. But I fished that pool they got over there, and they are dredging it finally. I got word that they're going to dredge it even back to Bell Pocket. There's a place called Bell Pocket. It's a pumping station over there.
Uh-huh.
And by boat, you get back in there, and it's just like, it's better than the breaks. It's crappie to galore and big. But, that whole body of water, we used to, 20, 30 of us have our own little spots that we made during the winter. And then,
right.
But it all silted in. So people ain't been able to use it for 10 years.
Wow.
But they're finally going to get it dredged out, I heard a week ago.
Yeah, see, I'm not too much on the Illinois side. Well, first of all, I wasn't a big bass guy.
Right.
I'm not so Eagle Phil and all this.
And see, there's crappie right now. Big time in Eagle Field.
Right. So when people mention these spots, well, a good friend of ours that used to live down there, he'd rattle, oh, that's the Devil's Punch Bowl, that's the Johnson Bowl. That's
I can't keep them all either.
Right, exactly. So it's like, I thought this was Johnson. Oh, that's the Devil's Punch Bowl. This is, so there's 15 names for one spot. So
right.
I never really got over on that. Well, first of all, it's Illinois, even though you're in a boat, as long as you stay within 4 feet.
Well, and that's where I got in the habit of buying. I was a resident of Illinois, so I'd come over and buy a non-resident Iowa. Mm-hmm. Well, now I do the opposite, and then when they do check me, which it's been a while, and that's enough of that. I could feel you thinking.
Well, I know Joe's an avid listener to this show, so maybe I need to run over there. But no, so you would need, even though it's access from the river, you would need an Illinois fishing license? I mean,
because there's no water going out.
Oh, okay.
So it's got to have an inlet and an outlet.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're locked into their body of water.
Mm-hmm. Huh.
See, Eagle Field, same way. One way in and one way out.
There you go. Just like Randy's bait shop.
One way in, 2 ways out.
There you go. You're on Jerry's Outdoor Show. We're going to slide into commercial break, and we're going to be right back. Don't you change that dial. We've got some more great fishing advice coming up. Actual fishing advice may not be helpful. Right here on Jerry's Outdoor Show on KWPC AM 860 and 95.1 FM.
You don't know me, but you don't like the place where he was born.
Sounds like a place to fish or baiting down at the bottoms. This is Randy Brewer from the Outback Bait and Tackle Shop. When you're ready to go fishing, to hit the river and local fishing holes, come and see me. I've been fishing our local areas for over 40 years. I'll be able to set you up with the right bait and tackle for our fishing holes in the area. I'll even throw in some of my experienced fishing advice. So before you head out to your fishing hole, come see me at the RB's Outback Bait and Tackle, located 16114 County Road X61 here in Muscatine. Call me at 563-506-0490. Sign says 9 to 5. Call anytime after. We'll get your bait.
That's a spicy meatball.
The Sicilian Pizzeria in Wilton is now serving domestic and import beer plus wine that complement all the great dishes prepared by owner and our friend Gary Brown. The Sicilian brings you the taste of New York Sicilian-style pizza plus Chicago favorites like Italian beef, meatball, and many more delicious authentic sandwiches. Really hungry? Order a Chicago-style stuffed pizza. Mouth-watering good. It's the Sicilian Pizzeria, 912 West 5th Street in Wilton. Call and place your order with Gary today at 563-732-9396. Satisfy your taste buds with the Sicilian.
Your local weather forecast brought to you by Concept by Iowa Hearing, giving you back moments you may be missing.
Here's your forecast from the KWPC AM 860 and FM 95.1 Weather Center. Mostly lingering cloud cover and some sunny breaks developing at times today as well, with an isolated chance for a shower late. Highs will stay in the mid-40s with northwest winds gusting around 15 to 25. For tonight, with clear skies, a hard freeze is expected as we head down to 23 with northwest winds 5 to 15. That will see some sunshine Saturday with a high in the upper 40s with light northwest winds into the day. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, 37.
And now back to more Jerry's Outdoor Show. If you've missed part of this episode or any other episode, what were you thinking? Give Jerry's Outdoor Show a like on Facebook. Listen to past episodes on iTunes, Podbean, and jerry'sOutdoorshow.com.
All right, we are back, and if you guys heard that on the weather, we got a hard freeze coming.
Cover your plant.
You got to cover up those pretty little petunias you got out there, Andy.
Yeah.
Do you do that? Do you garden much? I mean, legal garden, like vegetables, stuff like that.
I got a rule. Never mind.
There we go. How about you, Lonnie? You have a garden out there.
Yeah, we have a pretty good-sized garden.
You do, and every time I go out there, I notice the Canadian geese really like that garden.
Well, you notice there's a fence all the way around it, a cattle panel fence, and...
well, we know that Lonnie's voting for Trump. Going to put up a fence and a wall, but, you know... Yeah. Aren't the Mexicans pretty famous for building tunnels? So what good is a wall going to do? Yeah. But anyway, hey, we got Kent Hendricks on here, and me and Kent have been writing now for the Voice of Muscatine. Kent's got some articles coming up, and Voice of Muscatine is the paper they run out here in the station. It gets pretty good circulation, doesn't it, Wes?
Yeah. It's everything in pretty much Muscatine County.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or at least it's going to that.
Right. So they approached me, and I wrote a couple articles, and Joel's saying they're doing pretty good in that. So Kent's got some articles coming up. Yeah. And he's actually what we call liaison for the Muscatine County Conservation Board. What he does is he goes down there, and there's how many pits are there down there? 20?
Oh, something like that, yeah. I never really counted them, but there's quite a few.
So what he does is he goes down there and he tries to fish them and then write about a different pit every week or so, and usually places it on Facebook and the Muscatine County Conservation Board. Yep. And like I said, he's got a few articles coming out here. They haven't released them just yet. But anyway, you sent me a thing last night that you wanted to talk about this, and more than happy to talk about it right now. It's about the frustration down there at Deep Lakes Park, and you see a lot of guys come down there that are using way too big of stuff down there, and they're yielding poor results. So I'm just going to toss the floor over to you, and we'll chime in whenever you need us to.
Yeah, it's like where I grew up down in the Ozarks. I mean, the lakes down there were all really clear, so I'm used to fishing clear water. And then I come up here and I see a lot of guys that they're just used to fishing rivers and ponds, and it's pretty muddy. And they're using, heavy 20-pound test line and massive spinner baits and brightly colored lures and things, which is great for murky water. But down in the pits, if you're not using 6-pound line and finesse rigs and smaller lures that kind of more blend in with the natural bait fish down there, you're not going to catch anything. You're just going to spook them. And that's just something, it's a totally different world. It's a good experience for people that aren't used to fishing that kind of water.
That's a whole new learning process.
It is.
People don't understand because we've preached that because nobody, like you said, around here has had clean water to fish in.
Right.
So everybody had to change their lines, like you said, the lure. It's brand new stuff.
Yeah, and even a lot of the techniques, I mean, like the finesse rigging, the drop shotting and all that, those work really well there. You get your bait down to
8 count, 9 count.
Yeah, right.
Countdown.
Because the fish down there suspend in those pits. There's not a lot of cover, and so they tend to suspend, and just finding them it takes a little trial and error unless you got a boat with a fish finder, but once you find what depth they're at, then that's pretty much where you're going to catch them out all day.
Well, and that's the other thing, too, is we want to talk about is a clear water situation. Lonnie, he has a small pond out by his place, which happens to be quite clear and quite big. And so we'll talk about downsizing your lures to start off with.
Right.
Second thing is when it comes to lure selection down there at Deep Lakes, these manufacturer of lures try to make everything look as realistic or mimic something that looks like it'd be in that habitat, which I'll bring up to the point is a spinnerbait. What in the hell in nature looks like a spinnerbait?
Right.
Or a buzzbait. I've never seen anything swimming through the water that looks like that. So I was wondering, I know it's a reactionary bite.
Right.
That the bass, they see that flash, they're going to go over it. But I think for that split second that a bass is laying there next to that log and he sees this thing and he's like, oh, dear Lord, what's this coming to the neighborhood? I might as well get rid of this right now, Yeah,
but, I'm not saying that they won't work at all, but it's not the best choice if you're really going to.
Well, in your opinion, what is the best choice down there? I mean, it all goes by water temperatures and stuff like that. But basically, what would be your go-to lure down there?
Usually just a plastic worm, like anything in like the what they call a green pumpkin color. Mm-hmm. Works really well because most of the lakes in there and the ponds are all really mossy, and they have a lot of like kind of a green tint to them. So something that kind of blends in with that a little bit doesn't give the fish a chance to really look at it and say, well, this doesn't belong here,
Right.
Because you look at the natural fish and crayfish and things that live in there, they all kind of blend in. That's just nature's way of protecting them. Mm-hmm. And the fish can tell the difference. I mean, they're small-brained animals, but they actually know their environment, and they know when something doesn't belong there. And it's
right.
You give them a chance to really look at it very long, and they'll.
And that's the unique thing about fishing. We spend $6,000, $8,000, $10,000, $50,000 on equipment to do battle with something that has a brain the half the size of a peanut. But I always found out when you were talking about the running with the plastic worms down there, what always worked good for me back when I did bass fish, it was way back in the 80s, was a Texas rig.
Right.
Now, with the cameras here, I can do this probably in a couple weeks. I'll bring in what I call a Texas rig. So I'll try to explain it now for the people listening on the radio. Basically, it's like a number 4, what they call an offset hook, and it's got the bullet, what I call it a bullet weight, which basically will slide down to the top of it. And you're going to hook your worm onto the hook, up towards the head, leave a little bit so that worm's in a straight line, and that needle is going to bounce that worm up and down on the bottom. And I found that to be killer down there for those bass.
Yeah, it works really well.
So, and now I see a lot of the guys, them those ocho worms.
Yeah.
They use a lot of those in that. So, like I said, you're going to have to experiment because, first of all, what works for Kent might not work for Lonnie, might not work for Randy, might not work for, all over. So you're going to have to find out what your natural way of fishing down there.
I've got I learned it my second year with the bait shop. A 14-year-old boy comes in. He says, I need worm. I said, yeah, I got worms. No, I need the worm. It's in a package. I said, you're going to have to show me what he went out and got. And it says at the top, a worm. Well, it's got 3 hooks in it.
Okay, yeah.
And it's actually formed kind of like a corkscrew.
Mm-hmm.
The worm is.
Yeah.
So you put that on a swivel and a small weight to get it to the bottom or float it off the bottom. But that thing comes through like a corkscrew. Mm-hmm. And me and my wife was down there in the 2-man boat. And we just, what the hell? Let's try it.
Right.
Put them on there, and them bass hit that and just tore. We didn't even have it to take home. I mean, that's how many bass. I mean, we was just releasing them.
Right.
But it was a blast. And we're sitting in the 2-man boat.
I think those came out a few years ago, and I might be wrong, but there's an old boy that makes those. He's either down in Missouri or he's up in northern Iowa.
It's the way they're formed is what puts them through the water.
And he came by and was trying to sell them to me at the shop, and I bought a few of them.
And boy, they work.
And they work.
Yep.
And
they come in multiple colors.
Well, and that's the thing about lures and stuff in general. I mean, everybody knows.
Find what's in that area.
Right. And the other thing, too, is from a bait shop point of view, you got your big ones, Berkeley's, Rapala, blah, blah, blah. But 90% of it out there is mom and pop. They got a garage, they got a molding machine, they got something, and they make like your J&A. I can go on and on.
They wouldn't do that much work if they wasn't putting out something that would work.
Right, absolutely. So you can measure it by that metric. Now, what do you find out there on your pond?
Why does he pick on your pond?
Have you seen his pond?
I know what it is.
Right.
Well, along with a basic question that with water clarity, for a real beginner's question is, what color should you use if you got dark stained water? Mm-hmm. Should you go lighter the lure or darker the lure? Mm-hmm. Same way with clear water. Should you go lighter or darker? Mm-hmm. What?
Well, your color, it's such a wide brush to paint with, because are we talking about April or are we talking about August? Are we
I tend to go with the darker in the darker water and the lighter in the lighter water.
Right.
I just always did.
I'm more like, well, one of my main crappie jigs I use is pink and green. Yep. So you tell me where it is.
Okay, now to answer your question about the pond, and probably some of my campers will be unhappy that I let this out, but I have a really controlled atmosphere in there anyway.
Right.
But blue and white rooster tails are what seem to work the best for bass and crappie out there. And just tipped on a gold Aberdeen hook with a split shot about 18 inches up.
Right.
And that seems
I sell a lot of the blue and white skirted squid jigs. You know, for the little jigs.
Yep.
Well, that goes back to the fishermen that you that you personally are, because I know some guys that can work the hell out of a jig, but they couldn't run a crankbait to save their life, or vice versa. So you're going to tend to go back to whatever you caught the most fish on the last time you were there. And you kind of get stuck in that pattern. So unless you're playing around like Kent said, and you're experimenting with drop shotting or throwing a spinnerbait or a square bill, this and that and everything. So if you only limit yourself to one type of lure, and that's all you're ever going to use, yeah, maybe that's great for a good 6 week period out of the year, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, all year long that's going to work.
One of the best pieces of advice that I ever read, and I believe it was Roland Martin that said it doesn't really matter that much what you use as long as you have confidence in it. Mm-hmm. If you fish it with confidence and you believe you're going to catch fish with it, that's the biggest key. Mm-hmm. You know, if something that, like you say, you've caught fish with it, you know it'll catch fish,
right? And
you feel confident when you cast it out there that you stand a pretty good chance of getting a bite. Well, that's a big factor.
So let's flip to the other side of this question, and we're talking about Deep Lakes Park down there. What do you find is the best live bait that's being used down there, Randy? I mean, you got a lot of people that coming in and out of your shop.
They're the rosy reds, and like I said, they're bright orange. Mm-hmm. So
the clarity of the water there, and they can pick up on that.
Oh, there again, you're going clear water, bright bait.
Right, absolutely. So you're gonna. You can talk to 10 different fishermen, you're going to have 10 different opinions. So basically, for those out there listening, you're just going to have to decide that I'm right and forget everybody else. And
like I said,
you're going to have to basically play around with it. What we're trying to do is, I get asked this question a lot. You know, how do I become an expert fisherman? Like, I don't know. I wish I knew.
Hook in the water.
I wish
all
I
the
knew.
time.
It's, right. Yeah,
if
it
you
is.
Keep the hook in the water all the time.
I'm not, even though I have a radio show and this and that, I wouldn't classify myself as an expert fisherman. I mean, maybe I know a lot more than some and less than a few others. But the thing is, I don't drive my living from this. Okay? So I think to be an expert fisherman, you have to be able to sustain your life for 3 years just by fishing. And I'm not talking about just your bass tournament fishermen. I'm talking about, your commercial fishermen. They know how to go out there, set the nets where the fish are going to be, what patterns are going to be, so they sustain their life. So they make money out of that. Now, what we try to do here is give our opinion on what has worked for us. And you'll have to do with that, and hopefully you can use some of the stuff that we talk about here, and it actually helps. And I do get a lot of people that email me back saying, hey, man, I did this, and it worked out for me. I know, Randy, that works out down at your shop. You'll have guys come in. You'll take a look at their rig and what they're using, and this, well, I can't this and that. Well, here, try this,
let me show you something.
And they come back, and they want to give you a full-on kiss on the lips and invite you down to the dinner. And it is magical. It is.
Even a cat fisherman.
Right.
He got a great big a big split shot below his egg sinker.
Right.
Or his no-roll sinker.
Right.
It's like, don't you want your worm to move anywhere, or you just want it to lay in one spot?
Right.
What are you talking about? I says, well, take that big sinker off of underneath that egg or underneath that no roll, and just take a twig and double your line and put it through that and use that twig for your stopper. Boy, he come back. He says, "Oh boy, that is a trick."
Yep.
It saves you a split shot every time you break your line too.
Right. And the thing is, it's just these are little tricks that we've learned along the ways. And now I fish more than most, and like I said, I'm a professional carpenter in my real life, and I like to fish. Now, according to my wife, that's backwards. I fish a lot and only work a little, but anyway. But no, I've fished a lot around these waters. I know these waters. Now, if you stick me down in Arizona, I don't know.
Right.
Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But I'm used to what I'm used to around here, and that's the way it is. And so it's all experience. I mean, just like same thing from Lonnie out on the Cedar to Randy on the Mississippi. Even though it looks like a river, there's subtle differences in there. So that's what you gotta take into account, for you to become a better. And as far as the moniker expert fisherman, who cares? Really, if you enjoy it and you go out there, if it's just taking your grandkids out, and you catch 4 or 5 bluegills, and your grandkids are looking up to you, and you're a hero in their eyes, you're an expert. Whatever. Enjoy it. We're going to slide into a commercial break, and we'll be right back. Hey, don't touch that dial, bro, Potato Chip.
Don't say it's a fine morning or I'll shoot you.
We've got more of Jerry's Outdoor Show right here on KWPC, AM 860 and 95.1 FM.
About in September, that's why we're talking. Well, I've traded this for like an old...
Are you looking for a reliable taxidermist who does superior work? Here's taxidermist Shannon Spooner telling you in sign language why he's the best around. Oh, we forgot to mention, he's deaf. Deaf Guy Taxidermy in Clinton mounts every type of game imaginable, from deer and coyotes, fish and ducks, you name it, he can mount it. Text him, please. Don't call 563-613-4411 or send him an email to deafguytaxidermy@icloud.com. Deaf Guy Taxidermy, proud sponsor of Jerry's Outdoor Show. Listen on KWPC Friday mornings at 10 a.m. Shannon wishes he could. Indian Creek Lure Company is your family-owned tackle shop. They carry the finest in bass fishing products. They carry items not found anywhere else. In fact, if they don't have it, you don't need it. Indian Creek Lure Company specializes in the more specialized tackle. Indian Creek also carries Dobbins and Denali fishing rods, as well as their own line of Indian Creek rods. They can help you spec out a custom rod that's the perfect fit for you, and they cater to bass clubs and tournament anglers. Check out their website, IndianCreekLures.com today.
Pierce custom rods are handcrafted of the finest materials available and designed to provide the most enjoyable fishing experience imaginable. Each rod features a perfect blend of power, action, and detail customized for the user. If you want the utmost in performance, quality, feel, and appearance from your custom rods, choose Pierce Custom Rods. Search Pierce Custom Rods and like them on Facebook or call 563-299-8645. Your local weather forecast brought to you by Sprouse Distributing, the home of Pepsi and the official sponsor of the KWPC Green Room. Our guests get treated thanks to Sprouse Distributing.
Here's your forecast from the KWPC AM 860 and FM 95.1 Weather Center. We'll see breaks of sunshine at times today, along with a few showers possible, mainly later on today as well. Highs will stay in the mid-40s with northwest winds gusting around 15 to 25. For tonight, with clear skies, a hard freeze is expected as we head down to 23 with northwest winds 5 to 15. Then we'll see some sunshine Saturday with a high in the upper 40s with light northwest winds into the day. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, 39.
And now back to more Jerry's Outdoor Show. If you've missed part of this episode or any other episode, what were you thinking? Give Jerry's Outdoor Show a like on Facebook. Listen to past episodes on iTunes, Podbean, and jerry'sOutdoorshow.com.
All right, we are back. This time of year, you're going to get... I'm starting to get inundated with the morels. Everybody's talking about morels, but I think Mother Nature's
they're a little early.
It's going to be holding you back. Like, yeah, but it's natural to kind of get. It's like like the day after Thanksgiving, how your kids get all okay. Christmas is next. Christmas is next.
Yeah.
morels are coming up. But the thing is, I wrote a thing for the Voice of Muscatine article. It'll be coming out next week, I believe. It's about morel mushrooms, and I get this question every year. Somebody said I need a certificate to hunt morel mushrooms. You do not. Let me just put it out there to the masses. You do not need a certificate to hunt for morel mushrooms in the state of Iowa. But, and this is a very big but, you do need a certificate to sell morel mushrooms. Did you know that?
I know you don't need a shotgun to get them.
By law, you need a license to sell morel mushrooms. Now, what this is about, it's if you go to ISU Extension Office, I've called down to Muscatine Extension, I talked to ISU, they offer these classes. Now, they don't have one in Muscatine, but they have one in Johnson County. Basically what it is, it's a 3-hour class to know the difference between a false morel and the morel. What they're trying to do is stave off on people that are selling like stuff on Craigslist or Hy-Vee. They're saying, or not Hy-Vee so much, but other forms that they're trying to put, hey, I got morels for sale. Well, they're not actually morels, they're the false ones, and then people get sick. So basically they're trying to get you to be able to identify the difference. Now, anybody that's picked morel mushrooms for 40-some-odd years, you know real quick.
I can smell them.
If you got a good one or a bad one. I don't do it anymore. It's just because, example, when we left F70 on Sunday, my buddy's like, oh, let's go to Wheezy Slough. I know I've caught those. I was like, oh, man, I don't want to go to Wheezy Slough. So we ended up going to Wheezy Slough, and we walked back there, and the water's only about 2 foot deep. Other than there ain't nothing here, man. You know, and by the time I got back to the truck, I had about 4 ticks on me. He had about 4 ticks, and that's why I don't really morel mushroom hunt anymore.
I've never had one.
You never had morel mushroom?
I've never had a morel mushroom.
What's good about morel mushrooms is like you get the first batch, and you fry them up in the butter and the egg and all of that. Oh, that's good. Eat it. Then you eat the next batch. By the time June 4th rolls around, you don't want to see another damn mushroom.
Pretty rich.
Till next year. But they're good. They are good. But that article is coming out in the Voice of Muscatine. I believe it's next week. It tells you about the certification to sell mushrooms. But if somebody stops you out in the woods or wherever you're at, you do not need a certificate to hunt mushrooms in Iowa. But you do need to be on public land, and you better make sure you're not on private property. So with that, that'll be coming out. Are you guys still big mushroom hunters?
I am, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've never found one. I've gone several times and I've never found one. So I'm looking forward to finally finding some sometime.
All right, well, we got a phone call. Hey, you're on Jerry's Outdoor Show. Who do we got on the line with us?
Hello.
Hello, Hermit. How you doing, my friend?
This is Hermit Longhorn.
Fine song, Hermit. Fine song.
Well, I figured I'd do a song about one of the stars on the show.
That's a fine song. Fine song.
And I did my research.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Well,
y'all knowed about New Boston, didn't you?
I went to the library and looked up RB on Google.
Oh, I bet that was interesting. What the hell would you find there?
I told the lady I'd let her pet my mule if she let me use her computer. But I couldn't sing about everything I found out.
That's right.
I think you did fine job. Fine job. You leave the rest of that under your hat.
Well, your listeners can get all the Jerry's Outdoors Show hits off the internet. Hot for Fishing, now that's a smash. And Stink Bait Blues, well, there's a classic.
We selling records today? I guess we don't have records anymore, do we?
Stink Bait Blues.
Classic Death Sentence. Lester, that boy's a fool.
He's a fool. Why is that?
Well, who needs stink bait? You just throw Lester in, and heck, you can catch a dang whale.
I imagine so. So you're still having problems with the stink bait backing up, are you?
Well, what do they call it? Post-traumatic stress syndrome or something like that?
I guess they got a word for everything these days.
Well, you know where I can get me a different John boat?
What are you looking for?
Jerry's got two in his backyard.
Well, me and Lester, we went to go fishing last weekend and totaled the other one.
How did you total a John boat?
Well, Lester kept bugging Hermit wanting to go skiing. And I said, you fool, you can't go skiing on hooves. Well, we started drinking and getting drunk and arguing back and forth.
Wait a second. You drink with your mule?
Well, what else is there to do? Well, Lester carrying on and all, I turn around to slap that fool upside the head, and all of a sudden we smash head on into a tree trunk close to shore.
Oh, no.
Well, me and Lester were thrown from the boat and suffering terrible whiplash all week and all.
Oh, no.
The worst thing is we lost all our beers, all the PBR and Schlitz floating down the river. Can you ask...
By God, I might go fishing with you.
You got Randy's attention on the PBR. Where did you lose that PBR at?
Well, if he goes down in Louisa County somewhere, I suppose he can find some.
I've been known to.
What's your address again? X61753. What's funny, bud?
Hey, can you ask Troy Mitchell if he has any more of them silencers?
Well, he doesn't have any right now. I mean, Lonnie, you got to order them, correct?
He was talking about last week. You know, something to shut Lester up when he starts carrying on.
Well, I don't think a silencer will work in the same capacity. A suppressor.
What is it, them silencers? Is that like a harness or something you tie up around his snout so I don't have to listen to his crap?
Nope. A suppressor or silencer goes on the end of your firearm.
You know, it's all the same. What kind of John boat you think I should get?
The most expensive one you could possibly afford. I have two of them.
Well, as long as I can modify it.
You can.
I'm fitting to put me a Hemi engine on the back for more horsepower. You know,
horsepower? You got a mule.
Yeah, you got a mule. You don't need horsepower.
Mule power ain't running on all cylinders, you know.
Yeah, but you got all the free gas you want, it sounds like.
Yeah,
beer drinking,
gas,
partner.
All right. You can blow up anything with that.
Well, Herman, my friend.
Nitroglycerin.
Herman, you lived the life, my friend.
Living the dream, you know.
So you're back up here. Now, I know last week you were at your condo in Oklahoma.
Yeah, me and Lester, we figured we'd spend some time together, but that didn't work out so well.
Why is that?
Well, ain't got a John boat.
Well,
fit for the river anymore.
Okay, whereabouts you live?
Well, I don't want to say on the radio, you know, all the stalkers and everything. Maybe I'll call you later and give you the lowdown on the address and all.
All right, Hermit, I appreciate it. But if you want a couple of them boats, I can help you out, buddy boy.
No, sounds good. Sounds good.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thanks for the song, Hermit.
You're welcome.
Has he been down to your shop yet with his mule?
I haven't seen a mule down there looking for dynamite.
So how's the season going down there? Is it picking up now, or is it with the weather? It's in and out, up and
It's
down?
just in and out. It's the hardcore fishermen are out pounding and pounding.
Mm-hmm.
The recreational ones aren't out at all.
Right.
Yet. And I don't blame them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a courtesy month, more or less.
Right.
Because May, that's when everybody starts going.
Right.
So
with that, obviously minnows are going out the door, like
minnows and shad guts,
mm-hmm.
and nobody's got any shad guts, and I'm about out. So
you're about out, so
I'm about out of them, and it's not even really season yet for them.
Right, absolutely. Well, how about you, Lonnie? You got any gun stuff going on? You got any tournaments coming up, or?
Well, I hope to sometime either tonight or tomorrow. You know. Compete down there for another week, so yeah, I gotta kind of defend my placement of last week.
Somebody's gunning for last week.
He wants that same chair,
right? Yeah. Exactly. So what does it usually take to get involved in these tournaments?
Oh, actually, they're real easy to get into.
Show up and shoot.
Yeah, basically that's it.
So there's no entry fee, no money
no.
getting kicked in the hat.
No,
nobody pulling out a gun and taking the money out of the hat.
No, Annie Oakland.
No. My grandson and I. He's 16 now. He's usually my partner, but he's reached the age now where he's in track and field and practices for football, and then he's got a girlfriend.
So there you go.
So the wife has been going down and being my partner.
There you go.
Because I shoot team, and then when they have an individual, I shoot individual when they do that.
Who was with you last week?
That was. Part of it was the wife, and part of it was the grandson.
Well, there you go. It's your fault.
So you taught your wife knows how to shoot?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you take your life in your own hands, man. Ain't happening in my house, I'll tell you that now. But anyway, so what's the weekend look like for you, Randy? What are you going to do?
Try and get that tank in. You want to help?
Sure.
Probably weighs 400 or 500 pounds.
Yeah, I'll help you. I'll help you. When? There we go. How are you doing, Ken? What you got going on?
Hey, I'm trying to think of somebody else.
I know. That's why we'll go ahead and get the other two people while you're thinking. What do you got going on, Kat?
Oh, just going to try to get in as much fishing as I can, and that's about it.
There you go. For me, Lonnie, I got something to talk to you after the show. I know you got a lot of earth-moving equipment out there, and I might need to hire you to come out and move some dirt around at my place. But other than that, we're going to slide out of here just a little bit early. They got the Ag Roundtable coming up. That'll be, 10 to noon there, Wes?
Yeah, 10 to noon.
All right, so that'll be coming up. I know we threw a curveball by coming in here at 9 o'clock, but we'll be back on the air at 10 a.m.
Yeah, for those that are just now tuning in,
right?
It's over.
Yeah, it's over. It was over. It was over at 9:01.
9:01.
But anyway, hey, we'll be back on the radio next week at a regular time. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Jerry's Outdoor Show. Special thanks to Indian Creek Lure Company, the Sicilian Pizzeria Wilton, Mitchell Arms and Ammo, Pierce Custom Rods, Tailwater Marine, Deaf Guy Taxidermy, and RB's Outback Bait and Tackle. Tune in every Friday morning at 10 a.m. right here on AM 860, FM 95.1, KWPC, the voice of Muscatine.
Well, I love her, but I love to fish. I spend all day out on this lake, hell is all I can.
We are so glad you came. Bye-bye. 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 Bye. Bye-bye. Remember, please discard all candy wrappers and popcorn containers in the nearest trash receptacle.